Hey family, Dad here. Hope you're having a great day. On this video, I just wanted to talk about my experience when I made the mistake of withdrawing my 401k. Now, this was back in 2005. At that time, I was married, going through a divorce, two kids, and had $30,000 worth of credit card debt. Life was rough at that time. I was 30, a lot of unknowns and a lot of struggles during that time. Not only was I going through a divorce and in credit card debt, I was also overweight, and for a brief period I had no job. And so the pressures of life was really on my shoulders, and it was dark. There were dark nights, especially when my kids weren't in the house. It was a struggle sometimes. But here we are, fast forward to 20 years later. I'm doing great. My kids are great, all that good stuff. But one thing that really popped up, especially during this time when there are a lot of financial challenges, is the mistake that I made on withdrawing my 401k. Now, I did it back in 2005 is because I was stuck. I didn't have a job. I had a lot of credit card debt, which I took 100% responsibility for after the divorce. And I just wanted to find a quick fix of how to just start my life clean. And so what I did was I withdrew my 401k. Now, it wasn't a lot at that time. I think before withdrawing it, I think it was right around 40, maybe 35,000. And obviously with that, you have to, when you withdraw it, you take a 10% penalty, and then you also pay taxes on it at the end of the year. I didn't think much about it as I was kind of younger and just kind of dumb and naive when it came to those types of repercussions. But looking back, I did withdraw it, and I did pay off my credit card debt, which I'm grateful for, and I started my life clean moving forward. But I could have done better. I could have left that 401k in there and just let it continue to grow and just kind of planned forward on how I was going to budget and slowly pay off my credit card debt. It should have been a no-brainer at that time for me, as I'm 49 years old. But looking back, it was probably definitely the biggest mistakes I've made. Because if I think about it, that $40,000 that was in my 401k account, if I just left it alone and just didn't contribute even more to it, to this day, as we're like 20 years later, and if we use the rule of thumb, your 401k, if you're putting in good growth funds, every 7-8 years it doubles. Today it could have been roughly about $160,000 to $200,000 that would have just grown on its own without me contributing any additional money. Probably for the last 10-15 years I've been a very cost conscious, financial conscious person, just kind of contributing my 401k. Having that extra $200,000 in my 401k account would have been pretty nice. And I could have, handled the $30,000 credit card debt a lot better. I could have just budgeted moving forward, just, paying chunks of it off month after month. Who knew? Like maybe a year, 18 months later, if I was really aggressive, I could have just paid it off pretty easy. But obviously, you can't change the past. But you can also make adjustments today and moving forward. So my thoughts is, if you are in a situation where you're contemplating on taking out a loan or cashing out your 401k, don't do it. Find ways to cut your costs. A lot of people out there don't even budget, don't even look at their expenses every month and see where they can make adjustments. I think that is extremely important in this day and age right now with the cost of living, inflation, all that good stuff, that you need to look at your expenses and see where you are spending excessively and where you can cut. And if it's at the point where you are at bare minimum on your expenses, meaning you've kind of cut everything that you can to survive, you probably need to look at how to make more income. But at the end of the day, make it the last priority of withdrawing from your 401k. I think it's a huge mistake, and I think a lot of professional financial advisors will say the same. So tell me your thoughts. Have you taken a loan out? Have you cashed out your 401k? What did that look like? What were the repercussions of that? What are your thoughts? Comment, like, subscribe. I would definitely appreciate it. So that's all I got. I'll catch you all at the next video.